Welcome to Spotlight on Lakewood. I'm Mayor Adam Paul. February is Black History Month, and today we're joined by African American leaders in our community. Joining me today is Dr. Margie Cook and her husband Felix, longtime Lakewood residents. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's fantastic to have you here. So I'm going to start with you, Dr. Cook. You've done many wonderful things in your life, lots of great adventure, and just wanted to chat with you about some of those highlights and what you're most proud of.
Thank you first for inviting us to come, and we're glad to be in Lakewood for more than 40 years.
46 years.
46 years. Wow.
Yeah. But we've been in and out in terms of going in and out of the country. And I think the thing that I'm most proud of is working with African families in Ghana and Tanzania. The most recent is going to help set up a school of nursing there in Tanzania. And then we have a young woman who is living with us from Tanzania who's going into nursing here at Red Rocks Community College.
So why nursing?
Because when I first started off in the 50s, that's all you could do. You could either be a nun, you could go into the Ministry of Catholic Mission, or you could be a nurse, a teacher, or a social worker. So in my process, I got to be all of those things except for the nun. I got to be all of those things rolled into one.
And this guy sitting next to you, Mr. Felix Cook, how are you, sir?
I'm just fine, Mayor.
And
thank you.
You have been a very active member of our community as well. Share with us a little bit about the things that you've done and maybe what you're most proud of.
Well, we moved to Lakewood in 1969, so according to my calculations, it's a little over 46 years. I have been involved in a lot of things in the city of Lakewood. I have served on several boards and commissions. The most important one, I served on the Y2A Commission. That was the commission that was set up to include and to increase the sales tax in Lakewood from 1%, from 2% to 3%, and that had failed 3 times prior to that effort there. So the committee job was to organize a grassroots group to set up to get it on the ballot and to actually get that approved there. Had that not approved, as you were probably aware, the city was having some real dire financial problems, was going to have to cut staff, cut services, could not provide the maintenance they need. A lot of things was going to take place there. So it's very important to do that.
Well, you two are very active, and we're really grateful in the community for everything that you have done and being so active. I know the city's still reaping the benefits of the tax increase, and that was probably over 10 years ago. It's
2006.
2006. So it's really put the city in a great position. So thank you for your hard work on that.
You're so welcome.
As you know, we're celebrating and highlighting Black History Month, and I want to just check in and see and hear some experiences that you may have had growing up. And I know maybe even in nursing school, I think we had talked in the past that there may have been some segregation or things along those lines. And I'd love to have you share with me and the citizens what that was like.
I came from Galveston, Texas, and I graduated in 1956. Schools had been desegregated, I think, since 1952 by President Eisenhower, but my school at the University of Texas had not quite gotten there yet. So I applied there in the medical school and was turned down because obviously the schools were not open yet. So then I got an opportunity to come to Colorado, which was a lemon turned into lemonade, because that's where I met my husband and married him. I got a chance to go to Loretta Heights, which is
did you really?
was an all-girls Catholic school. Nursing still had not integrated all the way, because once I graduated, I was going to go back to Galveston to take a job, but I learned that I could only work at night from 12 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. because if the patients knew that I, as a black nurse, was taking care of them, they would not be quite so happy. So I turned that job down, and I stayed here and took a job at Fort Logan Mental Health Center, who said I could work in the daytime too. So that worked out well. But as a result of not having nurses of color, mainly black and brown nurses, work as well as go to school where they wanted to, we started an organization called Colorado Council of Black Nurses, which is 45 years old now. And the purpose of that is to try and increase the numbers of black and brown nurses who could go to school, get admitted to schools, as well as get jobs, just like everybody else in acute care settings and in public health settings. So
do you believe that we've made some inroads
we've
and some
made
steps?
some progress, but you still see some things happening that's almost, racism is an insidious thing. And I don't know that we even realize sometime when we are doing things that are of a racist nature. So my goal, one, is to check my own racism, and then two, is to remind other people when students come who may not have all the quite educational qualifications as other students, to maybe give them a chance at sort of in a pre-nursing type of a situation to prove that they can do the work, and then move on into the regular nursing classes like I had to do. Because when I first came, I had to take high school English all over again, because the school that I graduated from was a separate and unequal school in the state of Texas. So I didn't realize that my classes were less than some of my counterparts until I came to Colorado, to Loretta Heights in 1958.
What a story.
Yeah.
You know, you're an amazing woman.
Oh, it's been a good struggle, though.
Yeah, and it's something that we need to continue to work on. And even in the city of Lakewood, we have schools that are somewhat less than and struggle, and we need to make sure that every kid has the best opportunity.
Right.
And my hope is generationally that we'll continue to be able to become more diverse. Felix, where did you grow up?
I grew up on a farm in Benton, Louisiana.
Wow.
My daddy was a farmer, and I spent the majority of my young adult life helping my father on the farm with my other siblings. I suppose that's where I learned a strong sense of work ethics. The arrangement that I had with my dad, he made the arrangement, I didn't, is that if I would help him work the farm, I received no allowances, but he would pay for my tuition in college. I got a degree, Bachelor in Electrical Engineering. I went to the placement office at Southern University, and I said, I have graduated now, and I came by to see what the job market is out there like, because you know, I'm ready to go out and use my skills. I'll never forget what the placement officer told me. He says, if you find something you like, please let me know. I'm looking for a job myself.
Oh my goodness.
So you can see I was on my own.
You were.
And so anyway, it worked out. I came here at the Bureau of Reclamation and started working with the Bureau of Reclamation. I actually ended up retiring from the Bureau of Reclamation.
What a fantastic kind of journey, and both led you to Colorado and started your family, and here we are today. So tell us, why is Black History Month so important?
Well, I think Black History Month is good because it reminds people of where this nation is and where it needs to go. And I hate to use just one month because it's one of those kind of things, it's a double-edged sword. It's good to remind people, but it almost needs to be every month that everybody respects everybody all the time. And it's nice to have this month to remind people of where we still need to go And now that we have some people running for the highest office of the land and saying that certain people should not be invited to be here, it's another reminder that we are a country of immigrants. You know, everybody came here, except for slaves, everybody came here as an immigrant. So that we need to be certainly aware and reminded that African Americans bring a certain number of qualities and skills to the table, and they may bring them in a different way, but they bring them, and that we need to be reminded of all cultures that make this a country of good people.
Right, not just 1 month, but 365 days a year, right?
Yeah.
And not just for African Americans, but
For all cultures.
all cultures, and to really celebrate the diversity that is the melting pot of the United States of America. And we're a little microcosm of that in the city of Lakewood.
I think that the celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday is a good segue into Black History Month. Whether or not you celebrate the holiday or not, that's okay. But I think that we can all appreciate the values in which he stood for. And, you know, he felt very deeply about those values. He was willing to give up his life for those values. So I think, and he did. So I think that the importance of that is Black History Month is to remind the country of the contributions that Black has made to this country here in art, in science, in medicine, and all other human endeavors. Been great contributions made by Blacks, and so I think it's good to remind us just what the contributions have been made.
Very well said. Very well said. Well, thank you both. It's been a great honor.
Well, thank you for having us.
And I know you're not going to slow down. I know you're going to continue to be active and doing
Could I add
things.
one thing?
Yes.
We moved here 46 years ago, and I think people probably want to know what our experience has been in Lakewood. And I would say that Lakewood is a wonderful city to live in, to work, to raise a family. We've always felt we was included in the city of Lakewood. You know, however, we had some challenges when we first moved to Lakewood. A couple incidents of note is that we was denied by a particular builder to sell us a lot that we wanted to build a house on. That was interesting to us then. And of note is that we had our daughter had a friend that would visit her from out of the city, and I noticed that several times he was stopped and questioned as to what was his reason for being in Lakewood. And so I think the word got around that it was okay for him to visit Lakewood without being stopped and questioned. And so other than that, we've had a very, very positive experience living in Lakewood.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm sure that was some painful and trying things to have to endure, and it's really meaningful for you to come and share that with the community, and by doing that, hopefully we can continue to have better understanding and really move forward with a celebration of cultures.
Thank you for having us.
It's been a real pleasure, and we will see you next time on Spotlight on Lakewood.